earlier today, you talked about, that there's been 10 homicides. You've got a new administration, an impending consent decree. There's a lot happening. So, I know we're about a week in, but how's your transition been going so far?
My transition has been going well. So out of the gate, running and making sure that I'm meeting with community members as much as possible, having these interviews with all the media outlets this week, but making sure that the mayor and myself are in alignment with our mission and vision and goals for the department in which we are, but also to truly engaging with my command staff to ensure that we are just operating at optimal levels and still doing that, but also to making sure the messaging is to the troops that this department is stable and that you are being supported. And I see the good work, and we just need to continue to be focused. And that's truly the message in which we need to, because our citizens require us to be a great department, and they deserve that. And so I just want to make sure that our troops understand that, because they're doing such great work.
Okay, yeah, because I'm sure, when there's all these changes,
Yes.
Morale can kind of take a hit. Where is the morale at currently?
The morale is still there, it's still high. We're not, the morale has not sunk at all. They know that I'm approachable, that I'm a great leader for them, and they know I care and that I support them. And if there's something that we need to correct, then I'll call it out and we're going to correct it. But those accolades and those needed rewards and celebration of the great work they do on a daily basis, I'm quick to do that as well. But it's been working well with this transition, but also right at the gate, after the inauguration with the mayor, we went together and we actually went and met with some officers. We actually met with command staff and had a conversation. What do you need? How are you feeling? Is everything okay? And so that signifies to the department that, again, you have the new administration coming in and you have me as the interim chief, and that we care about what is happening, and just to know that you're supported and as we move forward.
And how has it been working with this new administration?
It's been great. It's been good thus far. It's been good. Busy, of course, but again, it's been good as far as making sure that we're doing what is needed and that we are actually connecting and making sure that we're on the same page, and which is needed. And like you saw today at the press conference, unifying together, saying this violence within our city cannot continue in this vein, and actually having all of our clergy and other community members standing with us, as well as LMPD, and making sure a strong message was there that we are a community. And this hits home to everyone when violence is taking place, because no one should be in a position where they're losing a loved one.
Well, in with that show of unity and doing a press conference like that, what do you hope that accomplishes?
Yes. What I'm hoping that it accomplishes is that the community understands that it takes all of us, every citizen in this city, it takes all of us working together collaboratively to come up with different initiatives and different plans in order to drive this violence down. It's just not a silo effect with any entity. And we want to send that message strong home to everyone, that you are included in this public safety plan. And we want to open that door, and we want to make sure that the community understands that if you see something, you need to say something, because we need to know about it so we can address it. And that signifies that, because again, the divide or having division among anyone, it doesn't serve the purpose in moving in a great way, in a great direction in which we need to be, because everybody should feel safe in Louisville, period.
Yeah, and this divide you talk about, obviously public trust, that's been, a struggle. And so how do you plan to kind of open that door and to build that trust?
Yes, and so I plan to make sure that there's different forums that I will have, that the community is able to come in and that we're able to have those courageous conversations, but ensuring that from my seat, actually being in the top seat here in the department, that the officers see me engaging with the community at such a rate that it actually festers and it just picks up momentum, right? And so again, with my command staff, ensuring that they're supporting their officers and that they're engaging the community as they should. So again, opening that door, making sure that we're very transparent, but also to having those courageous conversations that are needed. But both voices are heard, hearing the voices of the community, but also to the community hearing our voices, LMPD. It's going to be huge. And again, we need to do this and to be unified because, again, if we want to see change, we also, too, need to come to the table ready to make sure that we have solutions when we walk away.
Okay. And, you mentioned transparency. I know late last year, Metro Council started raising some questions about kind of the record keeping here and the level of transparency. How do you feel the department's transparency has been?
Yes. And so with anything, when you're dealing with transparency, you can always see things that you can do better. And so we're in that vein right now. We want to do things better. If someone brings it to our attention that we feel that we're not being as transparent, we need to look at it. And we need to see whether or not it's valid and actually take a look at it with a different eye and to make sure that we are connecting with the community and connecting with others that feel that they may feel that we're not. We want to be transparent and we need to be. So you'll see us working on that every day because it's just not one of those one-offs. Every day we need to work on that and be better.
Okay. And, I'm sure we've touched on a couple points already, but ultimately, what are some of the key things you're looking to improve? What are you prioritizing?
Well, prioritizing, first of all, the vision. I really want to make sure that the department, which I've already said, but the community understands that together we need to come together and make sure that we can make Louisville one of the safest cities in the nation. I believe we can do that. But also, too, the other goals that I have is making sure that we're actually deterring and combating this violent crime. That's priority. We need to do that. But also, too, the reforms that are already in place and we've implemented and the progressiveness behind that is huge. We're not perfect. Again, those need to be tweaked along the way if we need to, but we're working there. But this community engagement, building those relationships are key. Is vital to us, and we've got to make sure that we work on that. And then also to our retention and recruitment efforts. We have a shortage here within LMPD, as everyone knows, and we need officers. But I really want to state and be very, very clear, like I've told other media outlets, we want quality officers. This community, this city deserves quality officers serving them, and that is our goal.
Okay, and what are you doing in ways of recruitment, and where does the shortage currently stand, numbers-wise?
So right now we're short 290 officers right now, and we are working on that every day. And we're actually working on our marketing strategies and how can we actually recruit better. The nation, as you know, everybody is in need of great officers. And so we got competition out there. But one of the things that helped us when a Metro government approved that we're able to do some hiring bonuses that we were implemented last year. And then the relocation incentive was also included with those that needed to relocate. And that helped us a great deal. And so we're hoping to get that back rolling again with that. But also, too, what's going to help our efforts in recruiting is officers making sure that we're doing our due diligence, recruiting other officers, potential officers to come and join the force. But this forum like this, for the media to actually help us in our recruitment efforts. But everybody within this department, we're putting that message out that we are recruiters to actually open that door and for people to be interested in doing this noble profession. So we're working hard. We'll get there. But again, I just really want to reiterate, it's just not hiring just anyone, but just hiring the best that we possibly can.
Okay. And, I mentioned earlier this possible consent decree coming down. Are you anticipating that, or are you prepared for that? I don't know. Can you prepare for such a thing?
Our posture on that, the DOJ findings, when it comes out, it comes out. I'm just actually empowering my officers just to be focused. Continue to do the work. Continue to be professional. Continue to raise the bar every day. Whether the DOJ is here or not, we are mandated to provide exceptional service. Our oath of office is still here, regardless if the consent decree comes down or not. So that's our posture. And that's what I'm encouraging my officers to do because it does matter. So no, can we prepare for something like that? We'll just be ready for when it does, and then we'll digest it, and then we'll move forward with it.
Okay. And I know during, Chief Shield's time here, there was a lot of new programming, some geared towards youth and things that were started up. Do you plan to continue a lot of those things? Are there new programs that you want to incorporate?
Absolutely, absolutely. So our Youth Advisory Council is huge. I mean, those young minds coming together bi-weekly and actually engaging with us, it's wonderful. And they're going back, taking that information back home to their families and to their communities, and we're seeing that. Our PAL, oh my gosh, that program within itself is actually galvanizing other youth to come together, and it actually in sports or other activities, and the officers are interacting with our youth because they're our gifts. I think children are just a gift. And also too, I've incorporated and we developed this conversation in cuts where we're going to barbershops, and now we'll be going into salons, and we're having those conversations with fellow community members, those tough conversations, so they can ask us those questions, why we do what we do, when we do it, how we do it. Those are conversations that need to be had. And so you'll see a lot more of that. And I'm geared up to developing more forums with the clergy and with our activist community and others, and bringing in other community members to see exactly how our crime is actually calculated, how we're moving resources. That is needed, and it's huge for people to be at the table. And I'm looking forward to what it's going to yield.
And you know, you kind of touched on it already, but how critical do you feel that is to go into the barbershop, to go into the church and meet people where they are?
Oh, it's critical. It's critical because, again, we need to dismantle distrust. And one of the ways you can dismantle distrust is by communication and actually education. The community needs to know that, and they want to know that. Again, they want to make sure they understand what we're doing. We should actually embrace that the community understands their rights, understands the law, and how we're working with them. They need that. And so going in there and being intentional that way is going to actually build so many other relationships, and that I feel very strongly that we'll see a great return.
Okay. And, you know, obviously building trust, tackling violence, key issues. We also wanted to ask a little bit, you know, obviously there's a large homeless population downtown. How is that working with, you know, clearing camps? What is kind of LMPD's role in this?
And so again, with the new administration coming in, and how does that look? What is the roles, and how we're going to be able to work together in that space? But I do want to state, LMPD understands that being homeless is not a crime. We understand that. We understand that we have our houseless individuals on the street that are struggling. Some of them have mental illness. Some of them just need direction and care and love and support. And so we understand that. So as we move forward within the next couple of weeks, we'll understand how better LMPD can actually support the other additional arm within the administration with our homeless population.
Kind of going off of that, if somebody's clearly suffering from mental illness, it may not be a threat to the community. You know, you don't want to waste an officer's time, but who can you call?
Yes. So we have the deflection model that is in place. So that service is there where E911 can get that call, and that it can be triaged to one of these services that entities that actually can support that area. And so we're behind that, and I support any initiative that is going to help serve the community. Because again, police, we never wanted to do it all. And we're in a space now that we are truly embracing other services that can help us do the work. And so it's critical that those services are in place, and that the new administration, and I know they will, fully supports it.
My last question for you is, are you in the running to be permanently chief?
Yes, I'm going to be considered and will consider taking on that role. So like I said before, I want to make sure that I'm the right fit for the administration, for the mayor, a right fit for the community, and definitely the right fit for LMPD. It matters. I don't have an ego here. Ego cannot play a role, because this department deserves the best. It deserves a leader that's going to support them, care for them, lead them in the right way, actually address issues that arises, but again, move this department progressively forward. So if it's myself or someone else, I just want to make sure it's the right person for this department at this time.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today.
Thank you so much.